Errol Spence is going to get the last laugh in life on Terrence Crawford. Let me repeat. Errol Spence is going to get the last laugh in life over Terrence Crawford. I'm biased in favor of. I'm biased in favor of people that show integrity. That's what I am biased in favor of. When we look at Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford is going up to fight Canelo Alvarez in a fight that Terrence Crawford very well may win. The reason that he very well may win is twofold. One, he's very skilled, and two, he associates with somebody named Victor Conte, who is a known steroid dealer who admits that he knows how to beat VADA testing and is also de facto works for VADA at the same time as he works with other people who many people believe are evading tests and cheating. Why would I say that Errol Spence Jr. would get the last laugh on Terrence Crawford? Because of the history of Victor Conte. Early part of career, Ken Griffey, boom, boom, knocking home runs, doing a fielding, playing incredible Hall of Fame level career, right? Same thing for Barry Bonds. But Barry Bonds did something that Terrence Crawford did. Once he decided that he was not at the peak that he deserved to be at. He wanted to be a home run hitter, bigger than Sammy Sosa, bigger than Mark McGwire. So what did Sammy Sosa do? So what did Barry Bonds do? Barry Bonds hired Victor Conte, the same person that Terrence Crawford hired to work with him for the Errol Spence Jr. fights and the other fights that he did where he was ramping up in weight.
Man, oh man, oh man. Fannon. Shout out to Fannon though, but I gotta holler at him. What up, YouTube? Big T or Heavy Bag TV. Man, get your goof ass in here and hit the bag. And again, shout out to this brother Fannon. It's not somebody I've really watched, but I just happened to come over a few videos over time. He's a popular boxing YouTuber for sure. And when you reach the kind of sub count that he's got, over 100,000 subscribers, that goes to either your likability or your charisma or the fact what you're talking about in the sport of boxing. There's some popularity there. But this particular video that he just released, where it's titled basically Errol Spence will have the last laugh over Terrence Crawford. That title alone just screams bias, and he's still not over the beating that Terrence Crawford put on Errol Spence. And I get it, right? For a lot of Errol Spence fans, that one really hurt because of just how big that fight was, what was on the line, and just how much crap talking in the lead up to the fight, the build up to the fight. Man, a lot of Errol Spence fans crashed out. But I want to take the time to shed a little bit of light on this because I think when you do have a level of popularity or influence, right, in anything, and in this case, the sport of boxing, where you're reaching so many people with your videos, I think you got to be fair, man, right? And when I say that, I think it's detrimental to some of these fighters with some of these narratives we can run with. Now, I give my opinion all the time, and you may like it, you may not like it, and I understand that. But it's never an opinion of allegations, right? It's more of it's an opinion that's not going to create a narrative that is going to provide some form of shame for a fighter, right? And in this case, this is what I believe Fannon is doing, right? He's basically what you heard from these audio clips I put together for you from his video is suggesting that Terrence Crawford is taking PEDs, right? And listen, he very well may be, because I don't want anybody to listen to this video and believe that I'm just some biased Terrence Crawford fan coming to his defense, right? This could be for anybody, right? And to let you know that that is not this, listen, I'm picking Canelo Alvarez to beat Terrence Crawford, and I got money on it. If you're frequent the channel, you know that already, right? So this isn't me trying to defend Terrence Crawford, but this goes for anybody when you're in a position that has influence and people are listening to you, to create a narrative where you're you could cast some type of shameful shadow over a fighter or anybody, without any cold hard facts, without any real facts to determine the truth. You always need facts, right? Before you give somebody's reputation a black eye, make sure you have the facts. And the facts that he's with the SNAP program and has maybe consulted with Victor Conte does not automatically make him a drug cheat, bro. It just doesn't, right? And I want you to listen to a video that he just did prior, because once I seen this video, I seen a video he did prior with Shakur Stevenson, and I thought maybe he was talking about Shakur in that video because he's with Snack and that he might not, or that he might be cheating. But it was a complete opposite. How could you try to create this narrative for Terrence Crawford, but not Shakur Stevenson? Listen to what he had to say right here.
Back to the channel. In this video, I am going to talk about one of my favorite fighters and one of my favorite people that are in the sport of boxing, Shakur Stevenson. Now, why do I like Shakur Stevenson? Because I've met Shakur Stevenson. I think he's a very, very nice young man.
Right? So it appears to be night and day when it comes to Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Bud Crawford when it comes to Fannon, right? Maybe it's because Shakur's never fought and beat Errol Spence. I don't know. But the last time I checked, Shakur Stevenson is in fact affiliated with Victor Conte and Snack, but he's not speaking on or trying to create this narrative and hanging this situation on Shakur Stevenson. I don't know. That's a head scratcher to me. Oh, and by the way, there are several other fighters associated with Snack and Victor Conte. But here's the thing, right? All of these things that transpired with Victor Conte happened several years ago, probably before a lot of you guys were born, right? And I like to live on the benefit of the doubt rule, because it automatically puts me in mind of back in the day. And I hate to use this analogy, but it's the only one that resonates with me. Back when you had a black man in America where a white woman could just say anything and they deemed it to be the truth. And a lot of my fellow black Americans suffered for that, right? Lies spewed. And there were consequences, major consequences. So for me, with that mentality, I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. If you haven't been caught up or tested positive for anything, there's no real reason for me to believe that you are cheating, right? And because you decided to deal with Victor Conte, because this is somebody who knows what's best for your body, right? Unless you show us otherwise about where your integrity lies, I'm thinking you're just trying to take full advantage of Victor Conte's knowledge, right? For all we know, when Bud met Victor Conte, he told him straight up, listen, bro, I'm not trying to be a cheat. I don't want any cheating help. I just want you to analyze my body and recommend to me the supplements that I truly need, custom fit for my body, where I can get the best performance legally, right? Because listen, if we're going to lean on Victor Conte genius for cheating, you're going to lean on his genius also to help your body legally get the best performance. It works both ways. So it becomes a matter of integrity, as he spoke of, with these fighters. And if they've never gave you any reason to not believe them, or to believe that they are not and don't have any integrity, why would you want to hang that on their jacket, right? At the end of the day, we're men. You gotta shoot the fair one, bro. You gotta be fair. You can't publicly convict them or make these suggestions without any real evidence or proof of Bud Crawford and his integrity, or any of these other fighters. Just keeping it all the way a beam. And listen, when he makes these comparisons, right, or their baseball analogy, and we understand when you're using PEDs, you do get bigger and maybe significantly bigger. But understand this. You're used to seeing Bud Crawford at 147 pounds for God knows how many past years, right? He's always been one of the little guys. I think 47 for us has always been, the smaller guys division. They're small guys, right? 147 pounds. I haven't been 147 pounds since the 9th grade of high school, right? And I probably was pushing more like 150, 155 then. So these are small guys. So when you're moving up essentially 20 pounds, 24 pounds, you're going to look bigger, bro. You're going to put on some weight, right? And if you're working hard, you can cut that weight up. You're going to look bigger. If you added 20 pounds to your frame right now, tomorrow, guess what? You're going to look bigger. People are going to look at you and say, hey, bro, you look big. You didn't put on some weight. If you lost 20 pounds tomorrow, it's going to look significantly, you're going to look significantly different. Somebody's going to say, hey, bro, you look like you slimmed up. You done lost some weight. So in Bud's case, bro, you're going to look bigger. Why? Because you are bigger. We are not experts in this whole PED situation. So I only respect the opinions of experts. Fannon, I'm pretty sure he has a profession or whatever the case may be, and I just don't think it's PEDs. And that goes along with everybody else who's speculating the sport of boxing. I don't believe your profession is looking at somebody and saying, hey, he looks like he's juicing. It's extremely hard for us to do. But what I would do is take the opinion of the experts. If the expert came out and said, hey, it looks like Bud Crawford may be juicing, then I would consider that. But from fans and YouTube boxing channels and influencers, it should mean absolutely nothing to you, because they don't know a damn thing about PEDs and what's really going on with that particular person's body. And that brings me to my next point with Earl Spence, whom it appears this video was made to in bias of, I should say. Victor Conte actually felt like Earl Spence was on the juice. Now, this is an opinion you probably want to expect, because you want to give Victor Conte a ton, and when I say a ton of credit for being this evil genius that knows how to beat the VADA testing, that knows how to make these so-called super soldier athletes, right? So if you're going to give him that kind of respect his opinion as well. And I want to show you guys this right here. So here I got some tweets from Victor Conte, basically suggesting that Earl Spence, along with a couple others, are juicing, right? Check this one out. I directly asked Errol Spence and Dennis Gould, guys. This is back in 2022 in TGB Promotions if they are doing VADA. I asked twice and no response. They may be doing VADA. So why the secrecy? Memo. Ugas is a well-known P.E.D. supplier and suspicious, in my opinion, boxing scribes. All right, so that was one tweet from Victor Conte. And check this one out. Victor Conte, this is from 4/1/22. Tim Bradley, I respect you as a truth speaker in boxing. Can you possibly think of a reason Errol Spence Jr. and Dennis Ugas would not be willing to say whether or not they are doing random drug testing for the fight? As clean boxing advocate, I believe in transparency. Thoughts? And Victor Conte says, hi, Errol Spence, please check your DM and respond to the VADA 24/7 365 sponsorship offer made of 100% of the annual fee. Terrence Crawford has agreed to accept and participate. If you are willing to do so, please let me know. Either way, much respect to you and thank you in advance. So listen, in Victor Conte's opinion, it appears that he believes Errol Spence was juicing. Listen, he tried to, in the most respectful way, without dishing out certified allegations, because he knows how detrimental that could be to a reputation. He tried in his most respectful way to ask him if he was juicing and to tell us that he suspects Errol Spence of juicing. But that will go over everybody's head. You only want one thing from Victor Conte, and that's to tie him to cheating. You don't want to tie him to having an opinion about who may be cheating, right? You're not going to acknowledge the fact that he believed in his super soldier expert opinion that Errol Spence was juicing, bro. You don't want to believe that. You want to believe everything negative about Victor Conte, but you ain't going to believe that, in his opinion, Errol Spence was juicing. Oh, it's diabolical, boy. It's diabolical. But anyway, I just wanted to shed a little bit of light on this whole situation, man, because for me, it's detrimental. Again, when you have the listeners, when you have the influence, that we keep it to a level where there is no allegations. When we are reporting on or giving our opinions about these fighters or whatever it is you may be covering, that we don't help create detrimental narratives about these people at the end of the day, that could be detrimental without a shred. I mean, a shred of evidence. Fannon spewed this on his platform, suggesting that he's using without a shred of evidence. You know what I'm saying? Other than, oh, he looks bigger. Barry Bonds did it without I could see if you at least gave us one time where Bud Crawford was caught in a big ass lie that had something that really mattered, right? Not a little white lie because he wanted to sell a fight, but a lie that made you question his integrity, right? At least at the bare minimum, give us something that makes us question his integrity. Because for all we know, these guys are just using Victor Conte at this point in his career to try and take advantage of that genius to get what's best for their body without cheating. Because trust me, if he knows what to give you to cheat for what's best for your body, he knows what to give you for what's best for your body without cheating. All right? Definitely want to know y'all's thoughts in the comments. That's all I got for y'all on this one. Big T.O. Heavy Bag. I'm out of here.